introduce yourself first.
Okay. Hello, I'm Colin Bailey, and I'm presenting the Challenger speech given by Ronald Reagan on national television following the Challenger disaster on January 28, 1986. I'm also doing an excerpt from the memorial service held January 31st in Houston, Texas. Ladies and gentlemen, I plan to speak to you tonight to report on the State of the Union, but the events of earlier today have led me to change those plans. Today is a day for mourning and remembering. Nancy and I are pained to the core by the tragedy of the Shuttle Challenger. We know we share this pain with all those people of our country. This is truly a national loss. 19 years ago, almost to the day, we lost 3 astronauts on an accident in the ground, but we've never lost an astronaut in flight. We've never had a tragedy like this. But perhaps we've forgotten the bravery it took for the crew of the shuttle. But they, Challenger 7, were aware of the dangers, but overcame them and did their jobs brilliantly. We mourn 7 heroes: Michael Smith, Dick Scobie, Judith Resnick, Alessandro Zucca, Ronald McNair, Gregory Jarvis, and Kristen McCullough. We mourn their loss as a nation together. For the families of the 7, we cannot bear as you do the full impact of this tragedy. But we want you to know your loved ones were daring and brave and had that special spirit, that special grace that says, "Give me a challenge and I'll meet it with joy." They had a hunger to explore the universe and discover its truths. They wished to serve us, and they did. They served all of us. We've grown used to the wonders in this century. It's hard to dazzle us, but for the past 25 years, the United States space program has been doing just that. We've grown used to the idea of space. But perhaps we've forgotten we've just begun our quest in space. We're still pioneers. They, the crew of the Challenger, were just pioneers. And I'd like to say something to the school children of America for watching the live coverage of the shuttle's takeoff from the classrooms. I know it is hard to understand, but sometimes painful things like this happen. It's all part of exploration and discovery. The Challenger crew was daring and brave, and the future does not belong to the faint-hearted. They're pulling us into the future, and will continue to follow them. I've always had great faith in and respect for our space program, and what happened earlier today does nothing to diminish it. Through the past 25 years, the United States space program has been dazzling us. And I have to say, our hopes and dreams will not end here. There will be more shuttle flights, more shuttle crews, more civilians, more volunteers, more teachers in space. And I wish I could personally talk to every man and woman who worked on this mission for NASA and say, your dedication and professionalism has moved and impressed us for decades. We know of your anguish, we share it. On this day, 390 years ago, the great explorer, Sir Francis Drake, died off coast of Panama on board. In his time, the great frontiers were the oceans, and his historian had later said, he lived by the sea, died on it, and was buried in it. As we could say of the Challenger crew, their quest was complete, like Drake's. We will always remember our shuttle crew. We'll never forget them, nor the last time we saw them, this morning, as they waved goodbye and slipped the surly bonds of Earth to touch the face of God. 3 days later, President Ronald Reagan gave the following address at a memorial service held in Houston, Texas, on January 31st, 1986. We come together today to mourn the loss of 7 brave Americans. We come together today to share the grief, and perhaps in that sharing, find the strength to bear our sorrow and the courage to find the seeds of hope. Our nation's loss is a profound personal loss to the families and the loved ones of the 7, to those they have left behind, their mothers, their fathers, their brothers, their sisters, their husbands, their wives, and yes, especially their children. We stand beside you in your time of sorrow. Words pale, what we say today is only an inadequate expression of what we carry in our hearts. Words pale in a shadow of grief and are insufficient even to measure the amount of daring bravery it took for your loved ones to go on this mission. We want you to know that your loved ones were daring and brave, and that their truest testimony will not be in the words I speak, but in the way they lived their lives, with dedication, honor, and a hunger to explore this universe and discover its truths. The best way we can remember the Challenger crew is by in the way they lived their lives, bringing life and love and joy to the ones they knew them, and bringing pride to a nation. They came from all parts of this great country, from South Carolina to Washington State, from Ohio to Mohawk, New York, Hawaii to North Carolina to Concord, New Hampshire. They were so different, yet in their mission, their quest, so much the same. We remember Dick Scobie, the commander who spoke the last words we heard from the shuttle Challenger before it had exploded. He earned many medals for bravery as a fighter pilot and later as a test pilot of advanced aircraft before joining the space program. Danger was a familiar companion to Commander Scobie. We remember Michael Smith, who as a fighter pilot earned enough medals to cover his chest, including the Navy Distinguished Flying Cross, 3 air medals, and the Vietnamese Cross of Gallantry with Silver Star. He earned these medals by fighting for a country he wished to keep free. We remember Judith Resnick, known as JR to her friends, always eager to make a contribution, always smiling, finding beauty in the music she played on her piano in her off hours. We remember Ellison Onizuka, who as a child running barefoot through the coffee fields and macadamia groves of Hawaii, dreamed of going to the moon. He said as an Eagle Scout, it helped him soar to the impressive achievement of his career. We remember Ronald McNair, who said he learned his integrity in the cotton fields of South Carolina. He wanted to live on the space station to perform experiments and play a saxophone. Ron, we'll miss your saxophone, and we will build your space station. We remember Gregory Jarvis, who on that ill-fated flight was carrying the flag of his university in Buffalo, New York. A small token, he said, to the people who helped him unlock his future. We remember Krista McAuliffe, who captured the imagination of an entire nation, inspiring us with her pluck, her restless spirit of discovery, a teacher, not just to her students, but to all of us, to an entire people, instilling us with the excitement of we ride into the future. We will remember these people, these skilled professionals, these scientists and adventurers, these artists and teachers. We will cherish their memories, memories of true American heroes. Thank you.